Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a refreshing break. We are now moving into session 2 of day 2, which promises to be equally exciting and deeply insightful. Session 1 provided us with the architectural foundation of edge computing. Session 2 will now ground our understanding in practical, real world landscape of threat intelligence as experienced by both academic institutions and industry leaders. This session bridges the critical gap between theoretical knowledge and industry best practices. It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce our exceptional speaker for session 2, a true thought leader in the field of threat intelligence and cybersecurity simulation, Dr. Thanga Pandi, team leader, simulation, Caliber Interconnects. Dr. Thanga Pandi holds a PhD in antenna design from Anna University, Chennai, and is a gold medalist from Anna University Regional Center, Tirunelveli. A recognized innovator, he holds patents in India and Germany for advanced antenna and wearable communication technologies. As a team leader and center head at Caliber Interconnects, Tirunelveli, Dr. Thangapandi leads the design optimization of 5G communication system and advanced PCBs, ensuring next generation devices like DDR5 systems perform reliable under demanding conditions. He is an expert in HFSS, ADS, ANSYS, SI wave, and cadence security, combining technical mastery with an commitment to designing reliable, future-ready systems. Beyond technology, he mentors the next generation of engineers, making his insights invaluable as we explore emerging technologies and secure system. We are honored to have you, sir, Dr. Thangapandi, sir, with us today, sir. So now the virtual stage is yours, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, first of all, great thanks to the institution for selecting such a wonderful topic, because everyone will be using WhatsApp, right? But in WhatsApp, you'll be getting a message that it's end-to-end encrypted. Whether it is really end-to-end encrypted, yeah, Prashant sir, whether it is really encrypted or end-to-end encryption is followed, you have any idea about that? Definitely having a doubt in the sector, because whenever you search something or chat something in WhatsApp, or whenever we search something in Google, then when you go to Facebook or something like that, you'll be getting the advertisement automatically. That means somewhere some third eye is watching our data or looking at us. So that is a thing, that data is being reached by others, or it is being used by others. Whatever we search or whatever we use or whatever we learn, that is being monitored by a third eye somewhere else through automation tools and AI tools. So this is as a, even it irritates us sometimes. So this is of a great cost when considering the industry, because industry, whenever you consider industry or academic side, some of the most valuable things and important things will be there. Products, product cycle, customers' data, or production, or some patented information, or customers' confidential data will be present. So it's our responsibility to maintain the data security, confidentiality, and it is more important in service-based industries. As I am from service-based industry, I'm aware of the importance of data security. One thing, we focus on the quality of the product, or so that maybe software or PCB. I am from the PCB sector. You will basically focus on the product, and in most important thing, customer focus is also along with the product. They focus on the data confidentiality. The data should not go to anywhere from the service-based companies or from their vendors. So there's a maximum expectation from around all the companies, and so the threat intelligence is one of the challenging thing that the real-time industries are facing. So let us have an overview of threat intelligence. In the discussion, we will be seeing the importance of threat intelligence. What is threat intelligence? Along with that, we will discuss about some free user-friendly threat intelligence online platforms and paid platforms, and how industries are using that. And there is an industry and academic case studies, implementation framework, how threat intelligence can be implemented, and how automation and AI integration is done for threat intelligence. That is to detect the threat and to avoid the threat. Okay, you can go to next slide. We can move to next slide, slide 3. What is threat intelligence? First thing, it is about adversary tactics, techniques, and procedures. Simply, we call it as TTP. TTP means tactics, techniques, and procedure that creates some evidence-based knowledge about the threats. So, what are all the threats present? How we can be monitored by others? How our data can be how the data theft occurs in the industry. That is the tactics, and what are the techniques we have to follow to avoid it, and procedural, how what are the procedures we want to follow to implement these threat intelligence techniques to avoid the threat due to or cyber threat or any other threat or data theft in industries. So first thing is we want to know the cyber threat in advance. So this in earlier stages in 2000, knowing the cyber threat in advance is given more importance. But in this decade, knowing the threat is alone is not enough. That is, early detection is also required. But along with that, we want to avoid the threat, or we want to avoid the data breaching or data theft. So that better security decisions has to be taken by the data security center or data our data center, right? So that the threat intelligence is, we want to detect the threat in advance. Our data center has to detect the threat in advance. That's early detection is encouraged. Along with that, it want to take smart, better security decision to identify what is threat and what is not threat. That is, a false positive should be avoided. We should avoid our data center and our protocols or our software or tools, whatever we are using, that should be capable of avoiding the threat, detecting the threat, as well as avoiding the threats. And it should, again, another step ahead. Nowadays, AI tools are implemented so that it will take care of automatically, it will take care that similar threats will not occur in future by maintaining a automatic log, right? So that you can move to the next slide. So it's an evidence-based knowledge about the threat. Adversary tactics should be followed. Techniques and procedures should be followed. So simply we call it as tactics, techniques, and procedures, TTP. So this is nothing but an actionable insight for decision making. So generally for decision making, whatever we required is the first thing is we want to collect the data. The system or automation tool should be capable of analyzing whether it is a threat or not. First thing, that is a very important thing. It should be capable of identifying whether it is our system or our email or our website is facing any threat, whether it's really a threat or it's a positive one. Like that, you want to identify, so that is actionable insights for decision making. So that data is required for actionable insights, right? And for decision making. Then you can move to next slide. Just a minute, I will switch on the video. Next thing is cyber threat intelligence tools. So most commonly pronounced word when we refer threat intelligence is MISP, malware information. So the malware information sharing platform. So it's a commonly used platform. It's a free platform only. You can refer Google or any other chat GPT like that. You can get information about malware information sharing protocols, right? Platforms. It's a free to use, but Azure, Google are costly. While for medium level institutions or academic institutions or medium level industries, this malware information sharing platform can be used. Another one, paid one, is the Microsoft Sentinel. Is a high-end threat intelligence tool. We can use this tool and we can protect the data in higher end industries. It's a paid tool, right? Then we can this MISP you can use for academic perspective or learning perspective for small scale industries where they can afford more for implementing threat intelligence tool, and but they want to secure their data. At the time, they can go for malware information sharing platform. So in industry perspective or high-end industry, they can go for Microsoft Sentinel, Azure, and Google Cloud tools that can be used, and commonly pronounced one is Microsoft Sentinel. This is the academic and industry perspective. In the next slide, we will be discussing about the types of threat intelligence. So first one is strategic executive level. In that, we first operational, that is campaign tracking. Tracking is very, very important. Then tactical, already we discussed about DTP, like that is campaign tracking, that's operational tracking. Then tactical, there's IOCs and signature. We'll discuss about IOCs and signatures. Then technical, now you will be aware of HTTP and HTTPS. Similarly, some hashes, IPs, domains that will be given technically. That is a strategic planning, executive level planning for implementing threat intelligence, right? So one of the best example is HTTP and HTTPS, where security is important. And then threat intelligence life cycle. First one, planning and direction. So we want to create a roadmap. What we are going to do? What's our plan to implement the threat intelligence? How we are going to avoid data theft, cyber threat, data breach provider. We want to plan the roadmap. We want to create a roadmap. Then, and the direction. First thing is collection of data. So how the system responds? Or AI means it's just a human. We want to give the data to the AI tools or automation tools. So for that, the collection of data is very, very important. So here, collection of data in the sense is what are all the threats, how threats will come, and what are all the possible threats previously faced by the industries from the case studies, from real-time ongoing scenarios. We want to collect all possible data. For example, if I am in Caliber, if any in our industry, in our company, we will be having a specialized automation tool. Whenever I mail outside, for example, Dr. Shamim Fatima, if she requesting to host a session for this semi of FTP from RMACET email ID means it won't directly reach me. It will first reach our data center, and our automation tool will check whether it is worth or not. It will check the ID. It will check the contents present in the ID. If and then it will decide whether that mail should reach me or not. And even if reach me, if I want to reply to other IDs than the email IDs present in our data set, or in that is automation tool, then we want to get special permission, or we want to raise a mail to IT team so that that email ID will be added, so that our company's IDs, customers' IDs, that, for example, if you're having a customer like Google, then google.com, that similar IDs will be present in our data center automation tool, and we can reply to such IDs alone. If you want to reply to any other IDs, you want to, even if you attempt, it will be automatically deducted by the data center, and it will be given, the information will be given to the respective officials, right? And it will avoid the mail communication between unknown parties. So first thing, to implement this, we want to collect the data. So what are all the threats, possible threats, how the fear of hack, how we will be hacked, everything has to be collected. Then it has to be processed and then analyzed. Finally, dissemination means sharing the data within the team, or we are feeding it to the automation tool. And then we can have a demo session. We can have in the demo session, we can try to hack our data, hack our system, or hack our email ID from unknown source. Like it's like a pseudo noise. So we can go for a analysis. Okay, and based on the feedback, we can further automate the tool, or further data can be included, or if it is enough or satisfied, we can go with this, and we can implement this in our industry as a real-time usage. Then in academic sector, the threat landscape, ransomware attacks. Even when previous week when I am attending academic council meeting of an autonomous institution, we were discussing about, because they have a cyber security. I am not a cyber security expert, but I am from PCB sector. But we are aware that the most of the academic institutions are being attacked by the ransomware. They are focusing on the students' data, first thing, to collect the students' data and banking accounts, something like that. They are focusing on that. And secondary thing is, this is they are focusing on medium level institution. When some high-end institutions or top grade institutions means they are the main aim of the hackers is it Data thefts are related to something like NBA documents, which are valuable documents, will be maintained very secretly by the institutions. And very, very high-end institutions which focus on the research, they will be having their own patents or researches will be going on. And just the research theft, they are stealing the research related material, patented materials, that is somewhere ransomware attacks is happening in academic sector also. So not only the industries are getting affected by the data threat or cyber threat or data theft, the academic institutions also getting affected, like phishing, credential harvesting, open network exposure, the laboratory materials are something like that. The IP theft is also going on. So this is in the academic sector, a simple landscape. While coming to industry sector, advanced persistent threats is highly pronounced. Like supply chain compromise, we will be having so we will be having multiple vendors, we'll be having multiple customers. They will be focusing on that such data. Then how to interrupt our productivity. So these are all the threat faced by the industries. And OTICs means operational technology attacks as well as industrial control system security. So this is the most important thing, industrial control system security, because whenever data threat occurs in IT industry, it's also work. But whenever it affects data threat or somewhere someone hacked the system, control system, means in the operating industry or manufacturing industry, means it will be a severe threat. Let us take some nuclear power plant. Some thermal power plants or manufacturing industries, there will be everything will be automated in the nuclear power plant. That distributed control system will be present. It will be operated, the automation tools, everything will be present. If someone hacks the data, means what happens is it will lead to disaster, right? So industrial control system security is a very, very, very important thing. If it is hacked, means it will be, so we want to pay more cost for that. One of the example is, suppose anyone is hacking a nuclear power plant, means the operations will get affected, and it will lead to a disaster, right? So this is the important thing in such industries, industrial control system based industries. Please change this slide. We want to maintain the threat intelligence techniques. We want to give more importance for the data security, because real-time operations are going on based on automation system. If anyone hacks the system, it will be difficult further to control. Then insider threat should be monitored. So this advanced persistent threat, APT, is a prolonged, targeted, and it is a sophisticated cyber attack. This threat is a sophisticated cyber attack because the data will be collected sometimes through the insider who is present inside our organization or industry, and it's a sophisticated cyber attack. That is why they are using the term, it's a sophisticated cyber attack. So intruder establishes undetected long-term presence in the network. You will say long-term presence means he will just sit in the network without hack. After hacking, he won't interrupt anything. No one will be able to identify. He will learn all the procedures, all the things for a particular period of time. He will steal sensitive data or affect the infrastructure or collapse the infrastructure or creates massive disaster. So this is advanced persistent threat where industry is now, that is especially operating industry, not only IT industry, operating industry is giving high importance to this APTs, advanced persistent threat, and so that insider threats is monitored severely. So that's why I mentioned that whenever I mail to any outsider or any unassociated mail ID tries to reach me, our data center will take care of that, because to avoid insider threat, to avoid insider communication with unknown third parties, right? Let us move to next slide. And so this is a case study is a smart manufacturing industries. Smart means everything is automated. If you have assembly line and for a mobile, some PCB assembly line is there, everything is automated. At that time, the procedure will be followed and the components will be placed, tested automatically. If anyone hacker or anyone threat is detected, or anyone, for example, if they hack the line and some other fake components are placed or some other component placement is collapsed, means the smart manufacturing industry, the product will fail. So this is in the smart manufacturing industries. So threat integrated with SIEM. We will discuss about SIEM, that's environment security, how the security systems are enforced in later slides. Then also, so first thing is So in these smart manufacturing industries, they will be having SIEM, SOAR, and EDR, and also they will be having a smart security operating center, SSOC, will be there to detect, analyze, and automatically respond to the threat. So here SIM means SIEM is simply security information and event management. So the security information and event management is just a watch, like a watchdog. It will collects, aggregates, and logs, maintains better log data like firewall, server, application, etc. And it is much important in any IT infrastructure or industry to monitor the threat detection. So here threat is detected or monitored using SIAM. So just a monitoring device. In advance, it also ICs anomaly detection and at a short span of time. Whenever a threat occurs, the time interval, that is the latency, should be very, very well maintained in industries, because whenever a threat is detected, at the same point of time, it should be identified by this SIEM, that is security information and event management systems. So this is implemented in smart SOC, that is all the security operating centers. SIAM will be there. This is in the past decade, but nowadays we can move to next slide. So having a threat intelligence nowadays, most important thing is, apart from SIEM, that is a watch, like even detection is important, but defense is more important compared to after the detection. We want to proactively defend, that is avoid the threat reaching the organization infrastructure, IT infrastructure. So we call it as proactive defense is very, very important. Then faster incident response. Whenever incident occurs, the response time, the immediate response should be taken by the smart operating centers or security operating centers. So improved risk management should be there. Strategic investment alignment. So here strategic investment alignment means every time, for example, I am implementing Sentinel, Google Sentinel in my industry, and then I can't sit simply or I can't relax, because threat comes in various ways, and hackers and viruses are emerging faster than the intelligence techniques. So that we want to strategically devise a plan and invest regularly, and you want to align to the threat intelligence technique. We want to update the threat intelligence technique. So the next slide we'll discuss about how to implement the threat intelligence in the next slide. Kindly move to next slide. Right? So first, we want to identify the stakeholders. We want to select the data sources. What are the possible threats, or how hackers may intrude into our data systems or our control systems. So similar data, so all the probability has to be analyzed. And then we want to choose the tools or platforms what we are going to implement based on our industrial requirement. If it is an academic institution, so you can go for some free tools like MISP, malware platform, which we discussed earlier. If it is high-end industry means, we can go for cloud-related AI integrated some threat intelligence techniques. So, okay, nowadays cloud servers are available with threat intelligence, artificial intelligence itself, high-end security. So based on our industry nature, we want to choose the tools and platform. So MISP, as we discussed earlier, it is a free community-based platform. Everyone can, organizations can use, and even overall attending the program can go in search of MISP platform. That platform, malware information sharing platform, can be implemented in your organization as a case study, or you can give it as a training for students or project for students. You can create your own pseudo noise, like or pseudo threat, fake threat, and you can have a demo session. So this is MISP. To help, it also helps to stay protected. It's a free community-based platform. And it's an open source intelligence platform. It's mostly used by cybersecurity professionals for sharing, storing, and correlating indicators of compromise. That's the indicators of threat. Then recorded future, a commercial service that collects the data from internet, news, web, technical sources, papers, from everywhere. It will collect the data and warn organization regularly about the possible cyber risks. So it's a never-ending process. Day to day, it will collect the data, it will get updated, it will warn the industry. There's a recorded future. Anomalies means a platform, it also gathers, analyzes, and here automatic threat intelligence and system is also present. It helps the security team to detect the threat as well as to respond to the attacks very faster. This is an anomalies platform. So MISP is comprised of all these things. It shares the threat, it records. Suppose today, if I am now we are going to a session, if someone is interrupting in the session, or some threat is cyber threat is noted, means if you are having a MISP protocol implemented along with this Zoom tool or your organization website, means it will automatically detect that some unknown person, unregistered person. For example, all the participants might have registered for the session, right? So if someone who has not registered for the session is trying to interrupt, means it will automatically we might have entered the data in MISP. From the data, it will find this is unwanted user or unknown user. We can't give access. It will remind us, or it will give information to us. In the meantime, it will prohibit the user from entering that is the automatic threat response. It will respond to the user. It won't, it will manage the threat and it will respond automatically. That is a MISP is important. Threat intelligence. This is the way the threat intelligence is implemented. So simply, it monitors the data. If it assumes or if it finds this as a fake positive or false positive, means immediately it won't give any access. It will manage the threat and its automated threat response will be created so that data theft or cyber threat will be avoided by the tool. So monitoring, detection, avoiding, and in future also that particular threat will not enter the system and it will record the logbook, something like a logbook. From that, it will get updated every day, right? This is the threat implementation, the threat intelligence implementation in industries. So first, SOC enrichment. So this is the most important thing. When you come to any industry, you can visit any industry, you can't see any CPU in the industry. Because normally in our institutions, we'll be having a laptop or we'll be having a system with CPU. But in any industry, CPU will not be present. We can't see the CPU physically. It will be present somewhere else in secured operating center. There is a security operation center will be there. All the CPUs will be there. This is the medium level industries. Suppose if we go for high-end industries, like high-end IT companies, abroad IT companies, they won't have a CPU also because they will be having everything in the cloud. Some cloud architecture will be there. Along with the cloud architecture, that cloud space providers will give the artificial intelligence-based threat intelligence tools also along with this space. So that first thing, whatever industry, they will be having a secured operations center. Then phishing detection tools will be present. Then vulnerability prioritization. Even in all the colleges, will be having a firewall, and here phishing detection will be done. Students can't access any other unwanted websites or some websites that create threat to the institution data. Vulnerability prioritization is also done. Fraud detection, like that, everything will be defined and it will be maintained. It will be coded in the security operations center, right? So that the phishing detection will be done. Vulnerability will also be avoided. Fraud detection is also done. Then data collection sources is step 2. In that, will be open source intelligence, like it is termed as OSINT. Here, we want to collect the data. So open sources, intelligence sources are also available to give data about the threats. What are the possible threats we can collect from the website? We are having dark web monitoring systems, commercial feeds, and internal telemetry systems, so that from various sources we want to collect the possible threat related data, how threat occurs. And collection of data is very, very important, because based on the data only we are going to feed the AI tool. We are going to give data to the AI tool, right? So that is very, very important thing. Then build a TI team. TI means simply threat intelligence team. We want to build a better TI team along with the IT team to analyze the threats. So the TI team comprises of a threat analyst, then malware researchers. Malware is well familiar in malware. SOC analyst, Secured Operations Center analyst, automation engineers. So these typical engineers are also required to build an effective TI team. So the threat analysis should be done. Analysis means data collections, everything has to be updated. Malware related data, researchers has to be aware of the malware and updates. SOC analyst implement the secure to protect to create a secured operating center. Automation engineer to create automate the tools, AI tools. You want to build the AI tools to avoid the threats. That is a threat intelligence. So this is a building the TI team. So as we discussed, first one is we want to define use cases where we are going to use, what we are going to use, for which purpose we are going to use. This is the step one. Step two, data collection. We want to collect all the possible data related to threat based on our use case. Then we want to build the TI team, a threat intelligence team to implement the secured operating center. Step 4 is technology stack. Here we are after building the TI team, we are going to have a technology threat intelligence platform. We are going to build a threat intelligence platform. So first thing is SIEM. So I said SIEM, security information and event management. So its meaning is a system. It is like a system. It collects, aggregates, it analyzes the log data from various sources like you can have firewalls, servers, application across an organization's IT infrastructure, and it will help to provide the real-time monitoring. Helps to provide some real-time monitoring as well as detect the threat very effectively. So like that, we can simply call the SIEM as a like something like eyes of a security system or a camera system. It's like eyes of security system. It provides visibility. It identifies anomalies through log correlation. So it maintains a logbook. So it detects the threat and it maintains the log also. So it correlates with the log and it informs whether it is a threat or not. Like that, it will monitor effectively. Then top solutions, you can something like Splunk, Enterprise Security, IBM. You'll be aware of, you might be aware of IBM QRadar, and already we discussed about Microsoft Sentinel, then Logarithm, Securonics, Exabeam. These are all some of the tools which has SIEM, Security Information and Event Management System. Second thing is SOAR, right? SIEM. Second thing is SOAR orchestration. This means security orchestration. First thing is security, then automation and response. So monitoring is important and response, automation and response is also important. So in simple words, so we can say SOAR has a set of technology that capable of enabling organization to automate, orchestrate, consolidate and respond to the security incidents, often by integrating the security tools. So the security tools, monitoring tools will be present. Automatic response system will also be present in these cases, right? SOAR, okay. So first SIEM is also important. Then SOAR orchestration is important. Then third one is EDR and or XDR. We can term it as endpoint detection and response connectivity is also important. Endpoint detection and response, that is EDR. Sometimes we term it as XDR also. So what is the purpose of EDR means? It is a security solution. It's focused on the real-time monitoring, and it also provides protection for individual devices such as laptops, desktops, servers, everything. So endpoint detection and response system is also, connectivity is also very, very important. Just a minute. And then so some it detects the investigates and this SIER, SOAR, EDR should be implemented together, and the major functions will be, they will detect, investigate and act. That is the most important thing. Detect, investigate and act with intelligence, or response should be very, very speed on an endpoint such as, and whenever it detects a malicious process execution or file modifications or some interruptions in our server or in our website or in our any other operating systems or control systems, whenever any outside activity, malicious process execution is detected, this will automatically monitor, orchestrate the data, automated response will be given, endpoint detection and response in sense it will automatically block the activity. So industry will not get affected, right? So the typical threat intelligence platform, any architecture has first data sources are required, which we discussed earlier. And then based on the data sources, SIEM, SOR will be implemented in the SOC, the Secured Center, right? The Operation Center. And then the response should be there. It's based on this threat intelligence architecture. So this is the basic threat intelligence architecture. So SIEM, SOAR, EDR is very, very important for any threat intelligence architecture in industry. So simple thing, its primary goal is nothing but detection and compliance automation, response endpoint protection, focusing on the data, that is through the log data, alert data, and log data. If you want to give the, it will be having alert data also, and endpoint telemetry. So it finds the threats, handles the threats, that means fixes the threats like a watchdog, it protects the host, and it's these things, SIO, SAR, and EDR works, endpoint response works together. So that organization can combine all these tools into a single SOC visibility. Okay. So industry or organization, whatever it is, you can implement this at implement these things, SIER, SOAM, and EDR as a single compliance response, automated response tool. Okay. So that you can simply term it as a SOC visibility triad, because three things are there: SIM, SOC, and EDR. You can implement it as a SOC visibility triad, and you can go for complete data security. You can manage the cyber attacks in the industry. So this is SIM, SOR, EDR is the most important things. And it detects our laptops, servers, websites, everything will be monitored properly, because we are giving already given the data properly, right? So integration, here let us see something important for security operations center. As discussed, every industry nowadays, all the manufacturing industry, operation-based industries, IT industries are having a secured operation center. Centralized operating center will be there, like a cloud data center, right? So indicator enrichment. So how it indicates the threat means based on the data we give, how rich we give the data, how much abundant data we give to the tool, and train the tool or code the tool, it will detect the, it will act as an indicator of threat. That's the indicator enrichment should be done. Okay. Nowadays, what happens is at a time, some two or more threats or attacks or hackers is trying to hack the data, or we are facing cyber security threat from multiple sources. Means it want to give prioritize the task, prioritize the threat alert. That is alert prioritization should be done, which should be first. Everything has to be done within a nanosecond or picosecond, but which threat should be given priority, and it should be communicated to the end user or who are using the data threat intelligence tools, right? Then it want to automatically block the hack that activity based on the priority. It should be monitored and automated, right? Then incident playbooks. This should be recorded every time, and whenever the system needs the data, we can monitor it, or it can be used as a feedback in next time while some other hackers, some other threat is faced, right? So this is integration with the SOC. Indicator enrichment is the most important thing. Indicator enrichment. And going to next slide, automation intelligence. So as said, if feed ingestion automation. So we can't give the data every time to the system. We can't instruct the, or we can't simply sit and code it everything, because we are using the word intelligence, we are using the word automation. The system, we want to code the system that it has to collect whatever threat is emerging in the market. How market is suffering due to this data threat, how industries are suffering, how data is being hacked day by day and minute by minute. This automatic tool has to take care of monitor, right? Take care of the data collection process, that is feed ingestion. So the feed should be proper, or it should be automated. The data should be automated, and then indicator duplication should be deduplication. It has to be taken care. Then auto enrichment of the process based on the feedback, automated reporting. These things are very, very important in threat intelligence based security center nowadays, right? Before a decade, the situation is different, but nowadays, if you are implementing a threat intelligence technique, means automatically the hackers will implement a very advanced methods to hack the information system in the industry. So our system will be capable of the collecting such data also. It should automatically upgrade itself, and it should implement the data protection systems or threat intelligence systems in our operations center. This is the most important thing. So that this is through the behavioral analytics, anomaly detection. So like data collection, everything is a data collection. And quantum computing, you have also given the word quantum computing. Here, quantum computing also plays a vital role in processing the data as well as data collection and decision making, right? So that is also nowadays it is also being implemented along with the AI tools for threat intelligence. Then threat prediction models, natural language processing is also important. Prediction models means whatever, whether it is a threat or not. We simply say in simple words, but in the real time, identifying whether it is a really threat or really it's a useful data for us, it's a very difficult process. So based on the data ingestion or feed ingestion, this will work properly. That prediction models will work properly. The next thing is machine learning for threat detection is a supervised learning malware classification platform. And supervised, no need of any supervision, it will automatically detect the anomaly or any malware is being used. Then clustering campaigns, pattern recognition, it will have multiple inbuilt or intelligent tools or intelligence working models that prediction models will be implemented so that through machine learning process and it will be used, right? Then NLP is natural language processing for threat intelligence. So from these data or reports, our NLP, natural language processing, our tool, the threat intelligence tool, summarizes the threat reports. It summarizes the dark code monitoring data and risk scoring. Everything will be monitored by the NLP, so our platform, threat intelligence platform. And natural language processing for threat intelligence is also very important. It's artificial intelligence. Incorporated threat intelligence, artificial intelligence to read, interpret, and extract actionable security related insights from multiple or massive volume of unstructured text data. Because we are using the term, even data collection should be automated. If you give the data to the system, we will give in a normal language, normal text, it will be, or Unicode will be used. But here we are using machine learning based detection, artificial intelligence based the detection. For the data collection, our data center or threat intelligence tool should collect the data very effectively, automatically with, and we used to feed the data. Along with that, also threat intelligence tool will also, platform will also collect the threat related data automatically. At the time, there will be some unstructured text data will be present, a massive volume of data will be present. It want to analyze all this data and it want to give based on the natural language processing, right? Instead of human analyst, now what we do is we manually read the reports and we will implement manually through normal text. We will social media post, or we will identify the dark group forums, everything. NLP, what does is automatically does all the things. It reads the data from the multiple websites, multiple sources, journals, papers, everything, and it will process the data in something like a test data. It will process automatically because multiple data will be present in multiple Unicode encrypted format. It will categorize and it will organize the data. Natural language processing. So language processing will be done. The common data will be processed and based on the data collected, it will prioritize, and the tool will read the priority, understand the priority, and implement the cyber threat priority in real time. So here IOC, I am using the term IOC. It's indicators of compromises. Indicator or artifacts or evidence found on the network or any operating systems or control systems or distributed systems that it will indicate security breach has already occurred or it is going to occur or someone is trying to use our system. When even in Google, whenever someone, even in Gmail, when an unwanted person, when we itself log in from other ID or other, we log in from another IP address, means automatically you are getting a security warning, right? Similarly, that's NLP, right? Machine learning based automated data security. We can have a Gmail, that's the best example, right? Then threat hunting with AI. So predictive threat modeling is very important. So if you have a AI machine learning with enriched database regarding the threat, means This is it will create automatically predictive threat modeling. It will be capable of predicting the threat, how threat occurs, when a threat can occur. If a threat, someone breaches the data, or someone is staying in a network, hackers hacked means it will automatically predict based on the data present. Then lateral movement detection will be monitored properly wherever. So sometimes if I'm having my official ID and when I try to log in from some other systems, definitely it can't. I can't do because of the lateral movement detection. And user behavior analytics. When someone is inside attacks, inside threats we discussed earlier, sophisticated attacks we discussed earlier. So inside the industries and other some other external person who are trying to log in or you are trying to hack the data, such data theft activities will be at their behavior, at what frequency it occurs, at what time is it occurring, why they are trying, on which model they are interested in, what focusing on to steal the data. Everything, the behavior will be analyzed through this user behavior analytics. Then, for speaking in academic side, automation in academia, mostly we will be having phishing detection boards so that unwanted message will not come, unwanted websites will not be opened, so that vulnerability scans, because in academic side students will be using the laboratories for research purpose, for project purpose. At the time this scans will be done properly, antivirus scans will be done properly, and student awareness analytics will also be present in academic side. So compared to industrial side, in academic side, it is given less importance because only the students or researchers will be accessing the data, and cyber threat is very less pronounced in academic side. In industry, automation in industry, right? OT monitoring, operation technology. OT means operation technology monitoring is very important. Supply chain risk scoring. That is because here what we say is when data is stealed, entire our customers or vendors, all related data will be stealed by some other company and it will be used by them because there's a competitive marketing world. So that they will give more important. They continuously track, analyze, and respond to the data from operation technology assets. Then again, when coming to industrial control system, you'll be having PLC, programmable logic controls. You might have heard in electronics industry, manufacturing industries, atomic control, atomic industries like Navy, defense, everything, every automated industries will having a programmable logic controllers. If some hackers interrupt and they change the program and logic means, for example, when a fire is occurring, the programming logic controller has a sensor and sensor detects a fire. It instructs this controller that fire is detected. Immediately it will switch on all the fire extinguisher automatically, water sprays automatically. This is a firefighting instrument, which is automated instrument, right? If sometimes if it the such industry is facing a cyber threat means someone entered the industry and someone has changed the program. Like even if fire is detected, no need to on the extinguisher. When fire is not detected, on the water spraying pumps every 1 hour. Like that, they are programming it in a false manner means entire operation will be collapsed, right? So operation industry, very complex operating industry for programmer logic controller, they will having additional intelligence, threat intelligence tools also with them to avoid such accidents in any or destructions in any industries, right? So that emerging like that emerging trends is to prevent downtime, enhance the security. Downtime is also very important because whenever a threat is, please stay in this slide, no need to move. Whenever a threat is detected, immediately some action has to be taken. That nanosecond latency is very important, right? Then emerging trends is zero trust intelligence and deception technology. Just a minute. Deception technology, AI-driven security operations center is the emerging trends. Okay, and real-time challenges in this threat intelligence implementation is data overload. Whatever it is, we will be giving data, feeding the data. The system will also collect the data from various sources, so that the data overloading is a major data storage and overloading is another challenging thing in the threat intelligence implementation. Then skill shortage. Even every institution is now starting the department like AI, cyber security, but real time the thing is most of the institutions or most of the training academies, they won't have any cyber security trained engineer or experienced engineer. So general advice is, if you have cyber security department in your college, the thing is you can reach a district cyber security branch in police department, and all over India it's there, and you can ask the persons to give a real-time session regarding the cyber threat. It will be something useful to the students as well as for the faculties to learn about the real-time cyber threats. Okay, while you want, that is to learn, to educate about the cyber threat. When you want to educate about the cyber security issues and threat implementation, you want to go for real-time industrial person who is really working in cyber security sector, who is working in threat intelligence sector, coding sector. We can call them and have a session. So in real time, the industry facing difficulty is the skill shortage. Then false positives is another one important thing. Like it will be a threat, but our system may miss it due to the data unavailability, and it will look at some massive destruction in the industry. Sometimes it will not be a threat. Some customers might try to reach us through emails, and what our system do is misunderstand it as a threat, and it will avoid the mail reaching us. So something like a junk or spam, and even it won't reach us. So at the time we will miss some important data. So false positives is a challenging thing in TA implementation. It should be dealt carefully. Then integration complexity. We discussed about SIEM, SOC, SOAR based SOC, EDR, everything. So integrating these things in the operating center or data center is a complex thing across the industries. So that best practices align TA with business risk. So not academic side. If you take academic side, that threat intelligence will be different. If you take software industry, threat intelligence will be different. If you take VLSI industry, their IPs and the VLSI chip designs, it will be given importance, and there the threat intelligence techniques will be different. So threat intelligence is not common for all the industry. So based on the business risk and based on the business nature, industrial nature, it differs. So we want to align with that. Then continuous feedback loop has to be maintained. Automate the repetitive task. Okay, the task should be automated. Then we want to measure the effectiveness properly. So as discussed earlier, first thing is planning. Just as a recalling session, planning, collection of data, analysis of the threat, dissemination or implementation of the threat intelligence technique. Finally, feedback has to be taken, and again, based on the feedback, it should be implemented through planning again. Okay, as sources, TIP threat intelligence platform. It has SIEM, SOAR. Based on that, end detection response will be there, and all these things are important for operating center, security operating center, so that as a monitoring, response, detection, and decision making, all these things together builds a threat intelligence architecture or platform in any industry. Then MISP, just as we discussed about free tool, that is a platform, MISP, malicious IP. It detects malicious, it has a data of malicious IPs, domains, URLs, file hashes, IOCs, etc. So that it will be aware which thing has to be avoided. So what false positives will be avoided based on all these data present in the MISP tool. Then earlier detection. MISP has a earlier detection algorithm. It prevents repetitive attacks, so that repetitive attacks won't be that much threatening factor in any industry which is using MISP, and it has some collaboration like SIEM, SAR, EDR, everything will be collaborated, right? Next slide. You can go to next slides. You can just rush off this session. So this MISP is being a slide being used by CER, Computer Emergency Response Team in any data operation center. Will be using this MISP. You can go for next slide. So computer emergency response team will be using this. Then team security, secured operating center will be using the MISP. Researchers, some researchers doing a research for the research purpose for small scale enterprises, they will be using this free platform MISP. You can also try this. So MISP examples is this: one, detect threats, shares via if suppose an organization detects a threat, it shares via the MISP platform, and some blocking, and it will block the threat earlier. So this is the working principle of MISP. And next one is a paid tool like Microsoft Sentinel. Industries can use this. It's a cloud-based SIEM and SOAR. That's a event management and response orchestration system. It's a cloud-based threat intelligence tool provided by Microsoft Sentinel. So it collects the logs, it detects the threats, it generates the alerts, and along with that, it also it's fully automated. So it blocks IPs, disables unwanted accounts, isolates the systems from unwanted threats. Okay, if any threat is detected, it isolates the system, and the safer data environment is being created. So here, compared to MISP, Sentinel is very, very important in real-time detection, and it's a AI-based tool. It's regularly it gets updated. It's scalable tool also. So whenever we implement Sentinel in our industry, it's impossible travel is detected, alert is raised, and any unwanted account will be blocked. These are simple words, just a revision. So MISP is share intelligence. It will share or try to avoid the data threat, but Sentinel is detect. It also respond to such a threat, so that industries prefers Microsoft Sentinel, while academic side MISP is enough. Okay. Sometimes some industries have MISP Sentinel together in SOC. So MISP is like a very good watchdog, right? It's like a eye. Sentinel is like something like it takes a decision and it performer. It's like a performer. So watcher, a performer, both are incorporated in data secured operating center for faster response. So this is the way they work together. Next thing is these are some free threat intelligence platforms. You can take a note of it, and when time permits, you can go through it, or you can implement in your laboratories also. Okay. And nowadays, another important thing we come across is cloud servers. Leading solution is space. They provide space also and provide MSSP. That means managed security service will also be provided. So for some, I will cite you some of the examples. That's not in the slide. I will cite you some of the examples. Google Cloud Security is a mandate, and Gemini. This tool leverages the mandate's expertise. It has many Gemini AI will be automatically implemented for threat detection. There is a Google Cloud Security for cloud servers. Then Microsoft Defender for cloud. This is also a well-pronounced thing. Another thing is CrowdStrike Falcon X. This is a combined cloud native endpoint detection as well as response, and it also has intelligence tech, threat intelligence, malware analysis, etc. CrowdStrike, right? Then Palo Alto Networks Prisma Cloud. This is a cloud native application protection protocol for our platform. CNAPP. It's a cloud-based servers will be using this. It integrates threat intelligence. Cloud space will be provides hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Multiple cloud environments can be connected through Palo Alto Network Prisma Cloud. Cloud 4C. This is a managed service provider. They provide 24/7 security services, including SIEM, SOAR, and dark web monitoring. Then key features about the overall presentation is AI-powered threat detection uses the machine learning algorithms to identify malicious activities such as Amazon Guard Duty. It detects the threat across workloads or environment in industry. External attack surface management, EASM, platforms like Cyber, Cloud, CK Monitor. These identifies the potential attack vectors, and it provides a view of risk, avoids risk. Then automated incident response, SOAR tools like Threat Connect, Allo Team. Threat Connect is a platform. It also automates the response, reduces the manual effort in threat triage. Then dark web monitoring is very well used in academic sites, industries to detect stolen data or phishing activities, etc. Then some of the compliance study architecture building tools are also available, like GDPR, HAPA, everything, and ISO certification is also available. So what cyber, when we come across academic and industry side, So AI-driven proactivity is a upcoming decade. Coverage scope is very, very important. Contextual intelligence has to be imported, or it has to be designed or built for security operating system. It should operate efficiency effectively.
Okay,
That's
okay.
operating efficiency is important. Yeah, any clarification support? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you can carry on.
Yeah, okay. Then better, my advice is try some MISP, manual information sharing platforms. That's free of cost. It's available. And next thing, just 5 minutes. Automated threat protection is important. And when you come to manufacturing industry, the cyber threat in manufacturing industry is double extortion ransomware. It is a scenario we face in manufacturing industries. Hackers they won't log the data. They also steal the data and demands payment to release the log, and they will assure that they won't release the data if you make the payment. So, because the data is a very, very sensitive, publishing sensitive company secrets or our customer secrets will be spread in the website. So that we'll be losing the customers. It is a very, very important. The double extortion ransomware. This is a threat faced by manufacturing automotive industry. They mainly focus on medium-sized industry, service-based industry with multiple production plants. The attackers, what they do is they exploit, they hack the data, and some unpatched vulnerability in companies' internet will be introduced by them through a VPN account or multi-factor. So we can protect this by VPN account or multi-factor authentication. So is the distributed control system based industries has to be aware of the operation interruption, as well as manufacturing automotive industry should be aware of double extortion ransomware, and importance should be given. So threat intelligence as overall, it is important in academic side and more important in the industrial sector. So the most important keyway is other things are theory. You can take MISP, Sentinel, and how they work. You can learn more about this in future. This will be very much useful for you for research and academic sessions also. So these things, data, this industry, these discussions are based on the data security, intelligence tools, security operating center, proactive security system, which we follow in our industry, manufacturing industries and service-based industries. So if you have any doubts, you can get back to me, right?
Thank you, sir. Yes, participants, any questions you can post in chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask for questions.
Sir, good evening. Very much interesting. Your session, very useful. But one thing I want to ask you regarding that automation you told in the how they are using in industry, manufacturing. Can you just elaborate, sir, please?
Yeah, sir, sure. So automation, in recent days, everyone is feared about the AI and automation, right?
Yes.
So automation is nothing but, as I explained earlier, the data collection and feeding the intelligence tool, which we are going to implement. For example, MISP, whatever XRY tool or software, we want to feed the data regularly. Based on that, along with the data feeding, we want to give the decision-making protocol, or we want to write the decision-making protocol also. So as I explained earlier, to avoid false positives, right? For example, any action, excuse me, sir, just 1 minute. If this X action happens, if this threat is detected or this thing happens, the system has to automatically respond to it. That is the coding. That is based on the data we will feed the system, right? machine learning, like a machine learning will feed the system. Based on that, it will automatically takes a decision.
Yes, sir. You're right, sir. In health industry, everywhere they are using it. You are right, actually.
Yes.
Yes. Which software is most of the people they are using? Any idea you have?
Sir, for this automation purpose, for some other automation purpose, automation coding in our manufacturing industries, we are
Yes.
basically using Python itself, right? So Python is a very user friendly. We are using such tools. Advanced tools are also present. We are a mid-level industry.
Interesting.
Python is being used. And yes, sir, another one important thing is if we automated, if we feed the data properly, and if we write a proper decision making coding, means it will be capable of detecting multiple threats, and it will prioritize the threat also. Which threat is first to be addressed? If a multiple threat is attacking a system at a time, it will prioritize the threat and it will prioritize the action. For example, take a nuclear reactor. I am from electronics background and electrical background. If you take a nuclear reactor, if multiple data threat is there, some fire threat is there, some bomb threat is there, multiple threat or some operation threat is there, means which threat should be first addressed. That coding we will be feeding the system, and we will take the decision based on the data which we have fed to the system, right? So based on that, it will prioritize.
You might us with a lot of theory and thing. Anyway, thank you, please, Prasad sir. Please, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, any more questions?
Yeah, really, thank you, sir. Thank you for RNK, CET, and Professor Shamim Fatima, who worked with me previously while I was working as a professor. A special thanks to one and all for hosting me. Keep connected.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, Dr. Thanga Pandi, for delivering an insightful session on best practices and emerging trends in threat intelligence across academia and industry. We appreciate your sharing your expertise and providing practical guidance to help us navigate emerging technologies and design secure systems. Thank you, sir.
This brings us
thank
to
you.
the.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Thanga Pandi, sir. It was a very insightful session. You took us to the industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So this brings us to the close of day 2 of our International Faculty Development Program. We sincerely thank our speakers for sharing their knowledge and insights. Thanks to all the participants for your active engagement and enthusiasm throughout the sessions. Actually, your curiosity and interactions will make the program more truly successful. Looking forward to welcome you all tomorrow for the day 3 with much more exciting sessions and discussions. Thank you.